Hey everybody, welcome back to Backlog Banter. I'm your boy Abram, joined as usual by Tucker Hazel, and for the first time, my Blu-ray copy of Midsummer, which is in the
Oh,
background.
hey, how's it going? Our third co-host.
And the three of us together have joined today in youthful harmony to
Yes.
predict Nintendo's 2023. And here's why this video is special, Tucker. Not only are we chatting, not only is Midsummer, Ari Aster's Midsummer present for the recording, but the audience is fundamental in giving their predictions that we're going to
Yes,
discuss.
they are.
And if you want to share your thoughts for future videos, join our Discord link as usual, top of the description or down there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment to
Yeah.
goose our engagement. I don't care if you hit random letters on the keyboard and hit enter.
That'd be kind of fun.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
your
our
challenge for
suggestion
the
for
day.
today.
That's your
All
challenge
right.
for the day.
See how many keys you can type in the shortest amount of time. I give you 5 seconds. See how many numbers you can type and letters.
Right, 5 seconds, and you have to do 5 tries. So we need 5
Oh, I see.
different
Yeah,
comments from each of you, and then we'll do the
Perfect.
best one wins.
Yes, of
Okay,
course. We'll come back next week.
but Tucker, here's what we've done. We've both assembled lists of 5 predictions.
Yeah.
The community has assembled a list of many predictions, and we're going to sort of ballyhoo about a lot of them.
Perfect. Oh
And what I want to do is something that Bo Talks Media, our friend Robert Talks Media, does.
Yeah.
That is what every
Please.
other YouTuber does, but I'm
Yeah.
going to steal it from Bo because Bo's the one I like the best.
Yeah.
The idea of at the end
Always
of the
steal
year,
from the people you like the most.
yes.
So you never want to like me, you never want me to like you, but then you better watch your fucking back.
At the end of the year, we will do when we're doing like our Nintendo year in review, because I'm always like, oh, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. It's so like I don't know. I never know. This year, Tucker, I'm getting planning done for December 23 done now, because we'll reflect back on this video.
Because if there's anything that you know about Aiden Buter, he never changes his mind about things over the time.
No, never. But so, do you want to start with yours, Tucker, or you want me to go first? I figure we'll go through ours under the communities.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with one that I have first. That is, it's not a Nintendo prediction, but it's a Nintendo adjacent prediction.
Sure, that's fine.
It's actually an Emblem Engage prediction, and my
Okay.
Emblem Engage Nintendo adjacent prediction is that you will love Tears of the Kingdom. You're gonna play that game, and you're going to eat fucking crow. You've been spending like basically ever since that game was announced, going like.
Yeah.
But I think that you're gonna play the game. It's going to be more different than you expect, and you're gonna enjoy the fuck out of it. And you can be like, "Yeah, I was wrong."
I certainly hope so. I mean, what? Oh man, I hope I don't like the new Zelda game.
Yeah, no, of course.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll find out. That's a funny prediction. I wish I don't have anything like that for you, but that's funny.
Still time.
There's still time. Maybe I'll ruminate.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I'll ruminate.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my predictions. Okay, I wrote them down. I have a Discord channel that's just me sending messages to myself.
On our server?
No, sorry, not on our server. It's a PM that I have. It's not on our server.
DM? Oh, your DM like your alternate account or whatever?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I keep all kinds of shit in here.
Oh,
the first one.
Leak your own DMs.
The first one is the one that's probably my most boringest, so I want to get it out of the way first.
Okay.
It's about Donkey Kong.
Oh.
Because I wanted to raise this because nobody in our community suggested a Donkey Kong prediction, and I wanted to. Mm-hmm. I think that the Donkey Kong game is real, is a 2D platformer, and will release in the holiday period for Nintendo in 2023. Now, it's important to remember, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was supposed to be a holiday game, got delayed to spring of 2014, and Donkey Kong Country Returns, unless I'm mistaken, I should have looked up before, DKC Returns release date, I believe that was a holiday game also. No, it released in January.
Okay.
Nonetheless, I'm sticking to my guns. I think Donkey Kong is an important IP. I think it's been a while.
So none of them ever released in the holidays?
No, but one of them was supposed to.
Sure, okay, yeah. So it's a really solid trend.
Yeah. But this one will. I think it's time for a new Donkey Kong game. I think that Donkey Kong's sort of star is on the rise. You know, he's always been a little bit of a niche character.
Sure. Now here's the real question.
Yeah.
And we can actually tie this into my next prediction if you'd like. Does this new Donkey Kong game feature the new character design? Because they made a pretty big deal in that thing of showing the new Donkey Kong render, be like, hey, for the first time, ostensibly since Donkey Kong Country, we have redesigned Donkey Kong as a character. And the implication was for the movie, but I almost think that there is a pretty salient role that, like, hey, we're revamping our classic characters, and this new design is being featured in our new version of what a Donkey Kong 2D platformer is. It's probably not going to be a country game. It's from a different developer. I think there's a strong chance we see that redesign in the new game.
The reason I say no is that it's ultimately Universal's design, or sorry, not Universal, Illumination's design, and I don't really know if I know Miyamoto is heavily involved in the movie and it's collaborative thing, but I don't know if what is ostensibly like a very Western interpretation of the character would become what, because then the rumor is that Nintendo EPD is making this game.
Yeah, of course.
If it was Retro Studios, I think maybe there might be a little bit more conversation we had there. I don't think that would happen. I think the other thing is just like PlayStation being an example of how they've got all their movie stuff going. They're basically running parallel to where they're recognizable from each other but different.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the same for Nintendo. But I think to the point about characters, there's a rumor that this game would go back to like the Kremlings. I think it's going to. I think this game will be even more of a sort of homage to what Donkey Kong Country was than even Donkey Kong Country Returns, because that game had a lot of its own new iconography. I really do believe the rumors that EPD would kind of go back.
That's really interesting. So that is, I mean, I'm not a passionate Donkey Kong fan. I've played a good number of the games, and the one I've played that I've enjoyed, but I really do think that Donkey Kong's iconography is pretty stale at this point. I mean, like, the new characters that they introduced in Tropical Freeze are like penguins with Viking hats, and like those aren't like iconic characters.
I agree.
They're not really expanding the world. So I really do think that for a game from a quote-unquote new developer, new to 2D Donkey Kong, I think that it would be really important for them to establish this as its own thing. Of course, you're saying there's rumors. I actually haven't heard those rumors.
These are old. Okay. They're probably wrong.
We returned to Kremlins, whatever. I think that's a little bit. I'd be just slightly disappointed about that. Would I care in the end? No, absolutely not. But like, I think there's potential to introduce a new host, like add a new Kong, add a new art style, give Donkey Kong maybe not the movie design, but some sort of redesign to like say, hey, this is our next step in the Donkey Kong series. But if you're saying it's trying to like go all the way back to like 94 or whatever Donkey Kong Country released, that's a little bit like, okay, playing with our nostalgia, whatever.
I think the reason I disagree a little bit is that I would really like to see King K. Rool come back, because I think that King K. Rool is just a goofy gentleman.
Yeah.
And I think King K. Rool could be a little bit more Bowser-like, where he becomes like this perennial antagonist.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. What I want them to do then is bring back K. Rool, but have him, much like Bowser did in Odyssey, summon a new army of minions and have those be like mini bosses that are more distinct and iconic than the like seal guy from Tropical Freeze. Like, I just want there to be more Donkey Kong characters.
Yeah, I would say the Kremlings will come back, but I would assume that they're going to be surrounded by new people.
Sure,
is what I'll say. But that's my only boring prediction. My others are a little bit more tawdry, if you will. So let's move ahead.
Tawdry, is that like sensual?
I think so. A little bit raunchy.
I don't think you meant to use this word. Tawdry, adjective, showy but cheap and of poor quality. Oh, actually, never mind. Yeah, your next predictions are definitely tawdry.
Hit me with your next one.
Are we not going to do one from the audience? Let's mix it in.
A round robin?
Me, you, audience.
Yeah, a round robin. I like that.
That's way better. Oh, yeah, BLB Submissions channel. Okay, all right. Let's start off with Abby, who got his comment in first. He got it in a quick and speedy 36 minutes after you sent a message in the BLB Submissions channel. He says he predicts that Tears of the Kingdom is not getting delayed.
Let's go one at a time here. We'll do the whole.
Might as well.
We'll do Abby's whole comment, but he's left a couple points. We'll go one at a time.
I think most people did multiple.
I think it is too late to delay Tears of the Kingdom.
I absolutely agree.
If he put in that prediction like 3 months ago, I probably would say yes, but I think at this point it's too late to delay.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's fine. I think that game has been in production for long enough. Yes. We've been saying that for every year since we started this channel. It's like, okay, this game should be out by now. It's an asset reusing sequel. But yeah, no, that's not getting delayed. Okay. Next up, more Pikmin 4 info and maybe even a release date has been discussed on the server. Now, I feel like this prediction's more so like hoping for this to be in the next direct, because for a game releasing this year, I would really hope that we get a trailer and gameplay for this game. I hope we get a release date for this game this year if it releases this year, because then we know it'll be coming out.
So this is one of my predictions. As I said, I got some predictions that are kind of tied into what people said.
Okay.
I think this game is going to come out in August.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm locking that in. I think this makes sense as a summer title, and it gives them a little bit of time to give us a major trailer to direct another trailer and release the game. I don't think Pikmin 4 needs more than that, and I'm not personally spooked by the fact that
they already gave about that much for Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
I'm not really spooked by the idea that we didn't see anything when it got announced, so it's going to be a long ways away. No. I don't think that's true. I think they're going to show us the trailer and be like, oh shit, the game is almost done, and then it'll just sort of click into the summer. So that's August for Pikmin 4. That's my prediction.
Yeah, seems solid to me. I'm very excited for Pikmin 4. We did a Pikmin discussion video a while back where we sort of talked about what our hopes are for the fourth game in the series, but that's mostly where my thoughts lie. I'm like, oh, I hope this kind of element here, I hope they reinvent it in this sort of way, or that's modernized in this way. But like, as long as it comes out this year, I'm happy.
Yeah.
He also says some Mario spinoff is announced. I don't really know why, but it seems like a curveball Nintendo would throw. Now, Abby, I hate to be the bearer of news, but it's not really a curveball to think that Nintendo will put out a Mario spinoff in a year. Because guess what? I'm pretty sure there's been one of those every year since Mario has started. So I give you a nice slap on the wrist for that one. You shouldn't have said that. But Mario spinoff this year? Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
So to answer this, Tucker, I have to pull in one of my predictions.
Didn't you just do that? How many do you have?
I have a lot.
Okay. Oh, there are more than 5?
I have 5 that I thought would stand completely on
that are distinct. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I thought we were already like done to 3 by this point now.
But this one crosses over a little bit. So.
Sure. Okay.
I predict that for the theatrical window of the Super Mario Brothers movie, to coincide with that, Nintendo will release a Mario game.
Yeah, sure.
Now here's where it gets crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 potentials in my head. Number 1, the Super Mario Brothers movie is clearly favoring an American audience, right? Took time out of a Nintendo Direct to announce the cast, where these are big American actors who are the voice cast.
Yes.
Now, obviously, it looks and sounds different in other territories, but I feel like this movie is really being pushed super fucking hard in America, between the voice cast, between the Happy Meals toys already being out and all the marketing. So I think that there is 1 of 2 Mario games coming in the April time.
Could we get a new game called Super Mario Bros. USA? Imagine.
A Mario baseball game from Namco.
Okay.
Because
interesting. That's
baseball,
a very American thing. America's favorite thing to do.
Pastime. Yeah. MLB The Show.
That far.
MLB The Show is huge. Baseball, by the way, also very popular in Japan. Important to note.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Very popular in both places. MLB The Show did great on Switch. Mario Baseball is the last Mario sports standalone IP not represented. Developed by Namco, like the past ones were. They could have been working this in the background. It's not like Camelot or Next Level Games making their sports games take away from this being made. It'd be Namco historically making this game.
Yeah.
So I think that is the likely solution, because also you gotta anticipate this is gonna get announced probably in February. 2 months for a Mario sports game would be very quick, but it wouldn't be that fast. Aces was only like 3 months ahead of time, maybe 4, 3 to 4 about.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy to say that even like towards the end of April, a Mario baseball game.
Yeah, I also think that release window for that, it can also be a month and a half after the movie comes out, because that movie is going to be in theaters for probably 2 months. And it's going to probably be doing well that entire time, as we've sort of talked about a few times. It's going to be very successful. I think it's going to be more successful than a lot of people do.
Yes.
But once that hype in that movie, boom, it crosses 1 billion. Everyone's talking about it. This is the new thing from Illumination. And then you put out a game, not with the movie, but as the hype has sort of crescendoed, that I think is actually more likely, especially considering then that's 3.5, 4 months to promote a game before it comes out.
Yeah, so I think that's sort of just the popularity of baseball in the places where this movie is going to do big fucking numbers. It makes a lot of sense.
Bucks.
But here's the outside prediction. Okay, I don't think it's impossible that they release another new Super Mario Bros. Game this year.
Okay.
Because you have to remember that the Mario games that sell the best of the platforming, obviously Mario Kart notwithstanding, are the 2D Mario games.
Yeah.
Where has 2D Mario been? I don't know. No. Now, you might say,
he's hiding in a corner. He's scared of his own shadow.
You might say, well, Abram, Nintendo EPD
After what he's been through, I don't blame him.
Maybe making a Donkey Kong game. But Nintendo EPD is like 9 million people.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's not impossible that after Super Mario Maker 2 didn't really get the support we thought that it might, they're like, well, maybe it's time to just do another proper 2D Mario game. And what better to coincide with the release of our movie than with a Mario game that's going to make a fucking killing. Yep. Now, I think that for a game like this, February to April is not enough time, and I don't think you release a 2D Mario game the same month as you release Zelda.
Yeah.
So...
Damn.
My prediction on the record books is a Mario baseball game for April.
Yeah.
My outside prediction that I get just like brownie points for is a new 2D Mario game.
Now here's the rub. All right, here lies it. Is I also think that a Mario game is coming out this year. I don't think that it'll be a new Super Mario Bros. Game. I think it's going to be the new kind of mainline Mario game. And now, what does that mean? I don't know. Look at me. Do I look smart? No. Sure. But I think that New Soup is done, and I think that they need to have some sort of reinvention for Mario, like I was saying that they should for Donkey Kong. Who knows if that's really going to be what it is, but that those games harken back to the Wii and DS eras, which they are clearly trying to distance themselves from, and with the redesigns of characters and putting Mario into theaters for probably one of their biggest successes monetarily ever, I think that a new kind of 2D Mario game, 3D Mario game, platforming Mario game with a new art style, with new mechanics, a new world, maybe a new side character like Rosalina or Cappy or something that sort of like gives the game its own identity. I think that that's really what they're going to be aiming for. I think that another new Super Mario Bros. Game would sell very well, but I don't think that with the synergy of trying to revamp the character with the movie, that would be kind of conflicting to be like, hey, this is our big step forward, but then we're kind of just actually taking a step back by making a new Super Mario Bros. Game to coincide with it. But I also think, Abram, I think you're right about both of those. I think we'll get a Mario spinoff around the release of the movie, and then the November game is actually the new mainline Mario game.
That's a really good point. That makes more sense.
That's what I think it's going to be.
I think that makes more sense. But I do want to fucking tug on you though. Okay. You must tell me if it's going to be 2D or 3D.
Which part?
You can choose.
Okay. All right.
Is it 2D? You have to pick.
It's 2D, but I think that there's going to be some sort of difference to it. I think that taking inspiration from other games and building on them, maybe there are 2D levels inside of small 3D hub worlds that you platform around. Maybe there's some sort of light puzzle solving element. I really do think that Mario in its platforming is due for that next step. And I think that coinciding it with Mario's probably biggest step financially with that movie would make a lot of sense. And I absolutely think my main prediction for the next mainline Mario game is that it's going to have a new art style. I think that Mario needs to look different. I think it needs to be in a different world. This needs to not be Mushroom Kingdom exactly. Or maybe they do Mushroom Kingdom like is in the movie. That's not a Mushroom Kingdom we've ever seen. The Toad City and the pipes going up and the houses on hills and all that, and the Toads having like full fucking businesses and taxes and divorce and all that. I think that'll be in the new Mario game.
Sure.
I think they've reinvented the Mushroom Kingdom if it returns to Mushroom Kingdom.
I think that the Mushroom Kingdom is a far too sacred of a location to ever reinvent. Really, I think if anything, but even the movie, it's still very clear the Mushroom Kingdom. If you mean that's like that level of reinvention,
that's a level of reinvention. I mean, we've never seen a Toad City in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, true. I mean, other than like in the RPGs or things, but I mean, ultimately,
Peach's Castle is like on top of a fucking huge mountain. There are forests of mushrooms around, like. Of course, those are like implied by different levels, but I think that having it be that more interconnected place, the Mushroom Kingdom feels like a place in that trailer. Sure. The Mario will be in the Mario movie instead of like just like disconnected okay, you got a fucking one pillar castle here. You got the pond here. That's the level.
I see what you mean.
Having it be more cohesive, reinventing the Mushroom Kingdom for its modern iteration with a slightly tweaked or majorly tweaked art style, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
There's a lot of random things, but yeah, will some of them be true? Hopefully,
we'll see.
Ideally,
we'll see. Okay.
That's my major prediction. That was my major prediction. Do we finish Obby's comment? Oh no, he also said there will be DLC for Tears of the Kingdom announced and maybe released. I disagree with released, but announced, yeah, probably.
We got that first wave of Breath of the Wild DLC in December.
Did we? With the Korok hat and like.
No, it was it was the Master Sword Trials. You like the 100 floors. It wasn't the big Ballad of the Ballad of the Goddess DLC.
World, yeah.
Ballad of the Wonderworld, yeah. So I think that there will be DLC, and I think there probably will be at least one wave of it by the end of 2023.
Sure.
I think that's fairly obvious. Let's do another community one because we both, in the process of that, gave full predictions.
Yeah. Andrew says, I predict the U.S. will enter a myriad of wars in the next few years, thus preventing Advance Wars from ever coming out. Now, this is a prediction that I wrote down, and then I deleted because I saw his comment. Yeah, I don't think that game comes out this year.
I think it 100% does. I think there's a couple things you have to think about with this. First of all, the game is 100% done.
Of course it is. Someone played it, yeah.
Yeah, that woman played the game. For people who aren't familiar, this woman posted on Twitter that she was playing Advance Wars because for whatever reason, her Switch allowed her to open the game that she had preloaded on the day that it was supposed to release. The game is done. I'm sure it was not a big financial investment, so I'm sure Nintendo is fine sitting on it because they sit on games all. But we need to remember they sit on games all the time.
Yeah.
If you think back to the Wii U era, there are many instances of games being totally complete and found on Wii U eShop before release. Infamously, Paper Mario Color Splash just was available for purchase on accident before release on the Wii U eShop for a short period of time. Twilight Princess HD in its entirety was found before its announcement in Nintendo Direct. Mm-hmm. It was on very good authority that some of these Wii U ports in Metroid Prime Trilogy people are talking about are just done.
Yeah.
So I don't think the fact that Nintendo hasn't released the game yet means that they are not going to release it. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I think you got to kind of look at the wider industry a bit and recognize that you got to recognize a couple things. I think the biggest one, most cynically on like a geopolitical level, is that a lot of people, unfortunately, care about something like the invasion of Ukraine for a couple months and then they don't think about it anymore.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it in the news in 5 or 6 months. Yeah,
I mean that war is being fought every day, and people are losing their lives every day fighting for Ukraine, and nobody talks about it anymore. So I think that's a cynical component of it that you have to think about. But even just on a games level, it's important to remember that things like Advance Wars and Disaster Days of Ruin were delayed because of 9/11 and things in the past. Mm-hmm. So there's a precedent for this happening and these games coming out later. One of those disaster games didn't come out for like 20 years or whatever, but I don't think that's the case here. I think really what it is they're just waiting for a good moment in their release calendar.
Yeah, sure.
The game that really suggested this to me was when we saw GoldenEye at Microsoft's E3. That's where it was, right? It was somewhere.
Sure, probably.
I believe that's where it was.
They own Rare, right? That happened?
Yeah, I can't remember at what point last year they announced that, but they announced that it's coming to Xbox and it's coming to Switch. GoldenEye is literally about Russia. Yeah, that's what GoldenEye is about. And as soon as GoldenEye was announced and GoldenEye is kind of allowed to be in the public space and for imminent release, I would say probably
imminent release, but also it'll have been a year by the point it's added to Xbox.
Yeah, but what I mean is there was even more time when it was rumored to maybe happen. Now they're like, look, GoldenEye is coming. So with all of that being said, I think the game is going to come out this year. I think that unfortunately that it's probably just going to get stuck somewhere.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Stuck either in a month with no game or stuck under the foot of another title like they've done.
I think that second one is significantly more likely. Yeah. I think that you saying it's going to be stuck somewhere is going to be wherever it releases. Because guess what?
Yeah.
No one cares about that game. It's not going to sell very well. And I think that the waiting for a spot in the release calendar isn't necessarily what they're thinking. I don't think they're thinking that for this. We don't know. We don't know what's going on at that crazy building over there in Kyoto. Where are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think they care, to be honest, about it like having its like own special spot because they're not really going to promote it, I don't think.
I think it's more the thing of like last year they had games every month or close to it. So it's like, why don't we just wait? Why don't we let this blow over a little bit more, the best of our ability?
Yeah.
I think that there'll be a Nintendo Direct, Advance Wars. It's going to be out in 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, could be out in April. We don't have a release for that month yet.
No, that's when Mario Baseball is coming out.
Oh, my fucking bad. You're right.
But yeah, I think Advance Wars is coming out.
Yeah.
Hit me with another one of your funky predictions, white boy.
Okay, white boy. And this is going to contradict a upcoming community one, which I actually might as well read now. If I can find it. Botox Media, Robert, God rest in peace, God rest his soul. Yes. He says new mainline Pokemon game on top of the Scarlet and Violet DLC, and in parentheses, they will not actually fix Scarlet and Violet to the point where it is acceptable. Now that last one, yeah, I agree with. I think that's not. I don't think that's happening. But I think there's not going to be a mainline Pokemon games here. Why? I don't know. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Because you were on this discussion with Bo, so you can shed more light on this. When he says mainline, and I believe he said this in his predictions video, when he says mainline, he just means a remake or something like that. He's not talking about Generation 10.
No, of course not for that. But Unova remakes, Let's Go Johto, some sort of game like that is a mainline game. Maybe they could even reutilize, or in his mind, reutilize the Legends engine and make a new Legends game. I think that is. I don't think that's impossible. We're all talking about generalities here, but I think that we would probably have started hearing rumors about that because Pokemon is a pretty rumory franchise. We started hearing, they're gonna do an open world Pokemon game that it's gonna be based in Spain, whatever. A while before Scarlet and Violet were announced, obviously similar for other games. That BDSP, we knew that was sort of coming in the ether for a while. I think that if a new game like that was coming, we probably would have started hearing like ideas about that already. But that hasn't started, as far as I know.
I think that I'll put my fucking Camelback water bottle on the line here.
I've got a Contigo.
I think that Ilka developed Black and White remakes are going to release this holiday season.
Christ, is that one of your predictions, or are you just talking about that?
It's something I've said. It's something I've said before. This was not one of my 5. This is just me responding to a community prediction. Like I said, I've got responses to a lot of these. I think that anybody who thinks that Ilka is not making another remake is kidding themselves.
Christ,
because that game sold so many fucking copies.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that the development budget was not very high, and I'm sure that Junichi Masuda probably didn't have to actually do that much as producer.
No, of course not. Probably. Of course not. Well, yeah, especially because, and like, I'm just thinking about, like, okay, he's been a producer on the Pokemon franchise for a while. His voice is like what brings new ideas usually to the Pokemon table. Let me check my watch. What new ideas were there in BDSP? So he's like, I guess make an underground. They're like, okay, and they give their monkeys a basement, and they're like, da 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 da.
Well, because the other thing is like, Ilka is made that One Piece game. One Piece Odyssey.
That, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how big of a studio Ilka is. But I also don't get the sense that, frankly, based off the quality of BDSP, that they need a lot of time to make a game like that. Mm-hmm. Especially now that I really think that, again, that game is sort of standardized mechanically to what Pokemon is now. You can reuse that entire framework and just make a Unova remake.
All you need to do is just make like new shitty 3D models.
I am with Bo. I am not positive, but I am very, very confident in there being a
sure.
If the metric for new mainline game is a new Pokemon RPG, I think there will 100% be one.
Now, here's what's interesting: is because I don't doubt that we're getting Scarlet and Violet DLC this year, but I think that this year with Scarlet and Violet DLC is where we start getting Switch specific spin-off games for Pokemon.
Sure.
I think we're getting a new spin-off series this year, one that feels substantial enough to sit alongside something like Conquest or Pokemon Snap, but that has the Switch's hardware in mind and isn't just a continuation of an older franchise, which is basically all the Switch has seen for Pokemon spin-offs. We got new Pokemon Snap. We got Cafe Mix is kind of like a, I don't even know what the fuck that is, but
Quest.
Quest. My bad. Never mind. Pokemon Quest. Oh Christ. But I think we get a substantial new Pokemon spinoff this year, and I think that's what they're going to push alongside the about DLC.
I mean, I'd be more interested in that. Frankly, I think that'd be cool.
So would I. Then an Ilka Gen 5 remake? Yes, I would.
I read about this a while ago, but I think by the time you're at Generation 5, there's no reason to remake Pokemon games anymore. That I if you start remaking X and Y, I think you've gone too far entirely. But I think you start to lose any real justification for fundamentally remaking those games by the time you hit Black and White.
Yeah.
Let me hit you with a prediction. We're kind of off kilter, but it doesn't really matter. We're going through all of them one way or another. A new Rhythm Heaven game will release in 2023.
Okay.
I think I've talked about this before. But the sort of the WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven are made by the same people. The cluster of people within Nintendo EPD that released WarioWare Get It Together, released WarioWare Get It Together.
Which, by the way, is I think the last game that they solely put out.
Yeah, I'd have to double check. I don't know.
I'm looking at the EPD backlog thing, and they had involvement in Metroid Dread, but we know that was obviously Mercury Steam heading the development of that, and Get It Together was the only thing before that, and then you go back to Miitopia remake, 3D All Stars, and then Animal Crossing New Horizons.
They didn't help with anything from 2022. Okay.
Not that it says on backlog, but I do kind of I trust what they have on here.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I think it makes sense. It's been since 2016. We've gotten a Rhythm Heaven game. Mega Mix in 2016 was the last one.
Yeah.
So it just seems to make sense. I think that team sort of recognized what they could do with the Joy-Con and with the Switch with Get It Together. And now I think you can take it even further with Rhythm Heaven. And the amount of nuance and development possibility that just HD Rumble would give to a rhythm game like that.
True. Oh my god, that's a great point.
I think would be huge. So I actually find it to be quite likely that we get similar to Get It Together. Hey, boom! Here's new Rhythm Heaven. A couple months later, it's out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great C tier release for this year. One that would excite people like us, the hardcore fans. Yeah. We would go fucking bonkers for that. And I think that it's a really exciting opportunity for Rhythm Heaven. I mean, it was on a big console, obviously, with the 3DS, but having a new modern Nintendo fan base that is pretty hungry for there to be more Nintendo franchises that are given a shot in the limelight, and most Nintendo franchises have been given a shot of fresh breath in this generation. I think that I would love that for Rhythm Heaven. I would really, really love that.
Yeah, and I think it'd just be fun because we've only ever had one home console Rhythm Heaven game prior, and that was
the Wii one.
Yeah, Fever on Wii, and that was so long ago. I even more so than WarioWare, which despite WarioWare Gold a little bit later than Mega Mix, but just they're per capita way more fucking WarioWare games. If WarioWare come back on Switch, I think Rhythm Heaven can easily do the same.
Yeah. I'll go fishing. I'll go fishing for another.
Fishing for the commune section.
Commune, yeah. We should call them the BLB commune.
All right, Sith Scott.
Right? Yeah, Scott, our good boy Sith Scott in here. Says that first up, Wind Waker Switch port. Now, how does that sit with a young gentleman such as yourself?
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Here's why. It's a 3D Zelda game. And I think that a lot of people talk about it like...
Hold on. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, I just had to double check.
A lot of people talk about the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess as though it's just, we're just dropping these games onto Switch. Yeah. What does it matter? But for a lot of people, Wind Waker in particular, a lot of people haven't played Wind Waker. GameCube to Wii U, not that many people had access to Wind Waker, right? So when that game comes out, it's going to be a big deal. I think that's one of the things you hold on to until there's no big Zelda game for the year.
Yes, I agree with that.
So it's not coming.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about that is we have been talking for a while about, hey, Nintendo is pushing Zelda as obviously it's always been one of their big franchises, but it's been more annualized than it ever was in previous generations with the Switch, or I guess starting near the end of the Wii U generation. But there was no Zelda game last year. There wasn't, and maybe it was because they delayed Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe it was because they had so much going on with these other franchises releasing, and Pokemon and Splatoon and Kirby and Xenoblade, yada. But yeah, I agree that it's not going to come out this year because I think that Tears of the Kingdom is going to dominate this year's conversation, and I don't think that they have space for a another major release, quote unquote. Like they treated Skyward Sword HD as a major release for that year, and it did do very well. I don't think that it's a as quick drag and drop from the Wii U hard drive to the Switch hard drive that they have. I think it will be if that does come, which I don't know, I'm starting to get a little bit shaky on, that it'll be more substantial. And no, I don't think it's coming this year.
I just think, because to your point, it's actually been longer than that. We've had a Zelda game every year since 2010. Mm-hmm. Beginning with Spirit Tracks, and then Skyward Sword, and then 2012. Maybe there was one in 2012. But definitely 2013 was Link Between Worlds, and then Hyrule Warriors and Triforce Heroes, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. The point is, Nintendo just needs something Zelda always to put out in front of them for next year. Yeah. And I really, to your point, I think the only reason there wasn't a Zelda game last year is because they are probably really confident that Tears of the Kingdom was going to come out.
Yeah.
And because it got delayed, that happened. People are like, well, why haven't they released them already? Mm-hmm. These ports? I'm like, because they don't have to. They can come in 2024, it can come in 2025, it doesn't matter. The games are done. They're ready.
Yeah.
So, it's going to happen. Stand down. Scott, stand down.
Scott also says we get a GameCube remaster / remake that's going to be unexpected, which I think is interesting. The craziest thing, but also the most logical thing about this Switch generation is that remakes have been much more prevalent, and we're starting to reach into other libraries that are not just Wii U. We have a Wii remake coming in 1 month, which is crazy. And I think that's totally possible. I'm not exactly sure. I have to do a little hypothesizing to figure out what that could be, but yeah, sure.
I mean, the rumor right now is that Monolith Soft is remaking Baten Kaitos for the Switch.
Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah, that's been circulating the last couple of weeks pretty prominently. Mm-hmm. But this is the time of year where every Nintendo news site is hungry for some sort of headline.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly the veracity of that rumor, but that'd be really weird, but not impossible. The thing that's always interested me about GameCube on Switch is that we learned through 3D All-Stars that Nintendo built a pretty sophisticated GameCube emulation architecture for themselves.
Sure.
To get Sunshine over and widescreen. Yeah. And then they have not used it since.
Yeah.
I don't think I really don't think it's impossible that like F-Zero GX gets just thrown in there and it shows up or something like that. I actually don't understand why Nintendo hasn't used that architecture they built for more GameCube games. No. So I think that this is a wily one, but possible.
Now, do you have a pull it out of your ass guess of what it might be?
Yeah, I think it'd be F-Zero GX.
Okay.
I really do.
I have a different but similarly themed prediction.
Yeah.
A Kirby Air Ride remake with bonus content, like a Kirby's Air Ride remake DX. I think that could be our Kirby game for the year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Masahiro Sakurai is a sort of guy that would let that happen.
Oh, sure. I guess that's true.
And he has, and Ken and Krista were talking about this on their podcast recently, which I found interesting. Like, he has he sort of has the voice of God over at Nintendo, where they're saying like, Sakurai says something's going to happen, so it's going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
And so that's that. And I just don't see him with his level of his attention to detail and everything saying, yeah, let's just re-release my game. Mm-hmm. And we already have Dreamland Deluxe.
True. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I think
even though I was just talking about that, I'm so fucking dumb.
I think that F-Zero GX is like, people want F-Zero back. We'll see what they do with the GX.
No, they don't.
Well, that's the point. Let's see let's release GX and see what happens.
Sure, I see. Yeah.
What else does Scotland have for us?
Scotland the was. He says no Switch Pro from Nintendo. Yeah, I think we both agree with that.
There'll be no hardware discussed this year.
No hardware at all this year?
No hardware discussed.
Okay.
For 2023.
Now this is not one of my predictions, but it's one that's been percolating in the back of my mind actually for a few days. But do you think that we start getting stronger rumors of that next Switch Nintendo piece of hardware? Yeah. Because it's been such a long time since we've even started getting like, hey, here's the rumor like in production. What's like the
NX.
The NX was the blank name for the Switch. The
code name.
Code name. God. Oh, the code. Yeah, the code name for the next generation of consoles. We get a couple weird. Oh God, what's the word? You know, you put in the like design document. They legally say, hey, you own this.
Patents?
A patent, yeah. You start getting the patents. You start getting the patents, weird patents, and people make up fake patents. That hasn't happened for like our entire modern life. Which I count from starting BLB forward.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's already it's been happening for so long that probably because I am still of the belief that there are many years of Switch remaining, but Nintendo doesn't say like, "All right, guys, it's been 10 years. Let's start designing a new piece of hardware." You know,
sure.
Like I'm sure
they've already been doing that.
They've probably been prototyping shit since like 2020, so I'm sure some of that stuff will start to leak.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like that, or like that oval controller with the liquid buttons that people thought the NX was, that had literally no foundation really at all, aside from one patent image. So I think we could start seeing elaborate spoofs like that. For sure.
That's what I'm excited to get into.
Which are always fun. Which are always
fun. I love those.
Yeah.
He also says that we get more Idea Factory games on Switch.
I have no idea who that is.
Donkapon Kingdom. I thought it was Dokapon.
It is. I think that's a typo.
Okay, he must have messed it up. Dokapon Kingdom port? That's a GameCube port.
Yeah, that is coming this year. I don't know what Dokapon Kingdom is.
Wait, what? It is coming this year?
Yeah, I think that's why he's mentioning it, because that got randomly announced last week.
I did not see that. You're right.
Yeah.
That is Western release date confirmed. Dokapon Kingdom Connect.
Kind of quirky.
Okay. Interesting. All right. What now? What other games does Idea Factory make?
I have no clue. I wouldn't have been able to even put Dokapon Kingdom to that name.
No, neither would I. Trillion, 1 Trillion, God of Destruction, Mega Dimension Neptunia 7, Skeleton Nightmares, Cyber Dimension Neptunia 4, Goddesses Online.
These are
fake fucking games.
These are I'm familiar with Neptunia. On like the exists level. That's what I mean.
Games developed. Have I heard? Root Infinity Rex. Sorcery Saga. Curse of the Great Curry God.
Is that a Generator Rex spinoff?
Blazing Souls. Axolate. Spectral Souls.
Honestly, Scott, I wouldn't be surprised if 15 of these games get announced in Nintendo Direct within 30 seconds of each other.
Now, that would be interesting because I'm looking at their Wikipedia page and apparently they haven't developed a game since 2017, which is the Switch's entire life cycle.
Brother, you're asking the wrong person here.
Abram, give me the information. I don't know. Is this gonna happen? Sure, Scott. Sure.
Florence, what do you think? Put in her answer in post.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
I'm gonna give a prediction. I don't remember whose turn it is, but I'm gonna give one.
Does it matter at this point? We're 49 minutes in the episode.
Nintendo will release substantial new DLC for Animal Crossing New Horizons across 2023.
Ooh, that's a really interesting prediction. I don't think I agree with it, but I think it's interesting.
Let me put cards on the table here. I don't watch any Nintendo YouTubers because I don't think many of them stimulate me the way they used to. I'll just say that much.
Sure. Law of diminishing returns.
But I fucking love Bo's videos. And I'm not, this isn't me just saying because we're friends with him. I genuinely, in my free time, watch Bo's videos.
Good.
And he made a video about Animal Crossing in 2023. Mm-hmm. And laying out a bunch of possibilities and scenarios. Let me talk to you for a second, Tucker.
No.
He's at the door. He's fucking peeking in. Look at that framing. Look at that boy go. Let me tell you something. He's got strong legs to do that because that floor's carpeted.
I had something to go do.
Sure. Business completed?
Yeah.
I see. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pass. Let's talk about this for a second.
No.
People are like, well, it's a holdover for Mario Kart 9 or whatever, right?
Probably true.
I don't agree.
Okay.
Here's what this game
is.
Money, but a specific kind of money.
They make a product and you pay for it.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, sure.
50 million people, roughly, give or take, have bought Mario Kart Deluxe, right? Mm-hmm. They already own Mario Kart.
What are you giving and taking?
The number. They already own Mario Kart, right? Would you disagree?
Yeah. Does Nintendo own? Oh, do people own Mario Kart?
Do the 50 million people who bought the game own the game?
Do the people own Mario Kart?
The people own Mario Kart.
Yes. The People versus Larry Flint. What's that movie called? Something like that. All right, continue. God, I'm really knocking us off track.
The most useful thing you can do with that 50 million number is probably not try to get them to buy a whole other Mario Kart game, but instead get them to pay for more of the Mario Kart game they already have.
Yeah.
And most specifically, become a recurrent source of income for you.
Sure.
I think that the main purpose of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pass is to get people to subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with
that. And the reason that Booster Course Pass, the reason that Booster Course Pass is going for 2 years is so everybody said, well, I should just pay for the $6 thing and get all this value in Mario Kart. Yeah. Suddenly, a Mario Kart player has given you $120 worth of online subscription to get, in part, this content for ostensibly free for the game they spent $60 on. I think that the entire rollout strategy of the Booster Course is to gas the numbers for Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to try to do the same thing with Animal Crossing, and I think they made a mistake in trying with the Happy Home Paradise thing. Because Happy Home Paradise was a one and done, you play it, you enjoy it, and you step away from it.
Yeah.
The Booster Pass asks people to come back once every 3 months, remain subscribed, so they can keep playing these things. Because as soon as that subscription lapses, they're going to lose half of their maybe favorite game on the system. There's a lot of people who just play Animal Crossing, or as both say this in their video, are now playing Stardew or playing Call of the Lamb or all this stuff. Nintendo needs them back. The best way to do that is to make them, and to your biggest benefit, is to make them recurrent paying members of your online subscription.
Sure, yeah.
So I think we'll see, very similar to the Booster Course Pass, substantial waves of Animal Crossing DLC that force you to remain subscribed for a while. That's my prediction.
Yeah, no, the way you put it, that absolutely does make sense. It's just, I mean, and of course, you can parallel this very easily with that Booster Course Pass, but the question would be, why did they stop? Especially because the Happy Home Paradise pack was the first major thing to drop on, like DLC wise on, or I guess it was I think, right? The first major DLC to like come bundled in with any
it was.
Yeah, I think it was because it was like around the time of N64 and Genesis. And so they knew that was a thing that they were thinking about, is, hey, we want people to keep coming back. We want to incentivize them to join Nintendo Switch Online for that. But after that, we haven't heard anything about that game. Why do they stop? Do they just shift their attention to Mario Kart and say, hey, that's going to be what's pulling them in? Or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a myriad of factors, but I think at a certain point, Nintendo looks at a number of almost 40 million copies of Animal Crossing sold and says, brother, we're leaving money on the table. And this is a very financially focused Nintendo right now. And I think that a long-tail DLC plan is the best way to get a couple more doubloons out of those people's pocket.
Yeah. To give and take, as we say.
Yeah. As we say.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's certainly possible. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, that just don't sit right with me. Even though I'd probably check it out, and I'd probably be happy with it if it was happening. Yeah. Also, specifically because that the addition of that hypothetical DLC with hypothetical new ideas would please the people who are disappointed with that game, which is, I would say, certainly not a majority of the player base of that game, but say, hey, this is finally the identity of this game that people like you were like saying, hey, basically all the DLC has been stuff from New Leaf. And they don't have any New Leaf to draw from anymore.
The other thing, and I hate ever speaking on behalf of a community because I just don't it feels silly to me, but there is a wide discontent with how they left New Horizons. And I think that that's probably recognized also within the team. So.
Sure.
Especially now that most of the casual people have dropped off and it's just the hardcore fans who do know what was in New Leaf.
Yeah.
I think those people are you can monetize them. That's simple.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Here's a weird one.
Is this from your head?
Yeah, this is from my head.
Okay.
We get a new Yoshi game this year. It's not a 2D platformer. It's a new game with Yoshi on it. I don't know.
What would it be?
Maybe it's a downloadable Yoshi game. Puzzle game. Maybe. That's it. New downloadable Yoshi puzzle game. Year of our Lord, 2023.
Can you fact check something for me?
Okay.
Did Goodfeel make both Woolly World and Crafted World?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Or, I mean,
because everyone's favorite Arzest made new Yoshi's Island.
True. Yes. No. Yeah. You're right. They did Kirby's Epic Yarn. They made 2 mini games of We Play Motion. They did the giant battles in Mario Luigi Dream Team. And then they go to Woolly World, Pooch and Yoshi's Woolly World, Kirby's Epic Yarn, and Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yeah.
And then nothing since then. Nothing.
My feeling is that Goodfeel has been sort of put somewhere else.
They got put down? They got taken out behind the barn?
I
heard the cock of the gun?
I think what's interesting is that you're telling me that fucking nobody else wants to make a Yoshi game? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, my feeling is that, and here's a pie in the fucking goose's hard hat prediction for you.
Yeah.
I would love to see Goodfeel make a Paper Mario game that's not even resembling an RPG in any fucking make or manner.
Okay.
Because they would do that aesthetic so well, and they'd do something.
Yeah, of course.
That's a sidebar. But I do think that Goodfeel is probably not making a Yoshi game again.
No, I absolutely agree with that.
So it could be cool to see like somebody dicking around with Yoshi.
Yeah.
Me,
hopefully. No, but yeah, I think that some new kind of Yoshi game, and I think that Yoshi, how popular Yoshi is, which is sizable but not that big, I think that works pretty well for some kind of new downloadable puzzle game, or even if it is a more substantial game, I think that it's not going to be a 2D platformer, especially because we hypothetically have a 2D Mario and a 2D Donkey Kong in the works, and they cannot return to the 3DS and Wii U games having every fucking game be a 2D platformer.
I was thinking to myself that maybe part of my prediction for Donkey Kong should be that Donkey Kong will release for the holiday, and then Nintendo will get criticism that they're releasing 2D platformers again. I was thinking of making that part of my prediction. Yoshi's Safari sequel. You play with the Joy-Con. Light gun game. Mario has an AR-15 this time.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't know. Possible.
I want to rate a community one this time. It's my turn.
Fine.
Okay.
They started talking about some weird weeb shit.
Yeah.
Buried the comments.
Virtual Eric gives what is, I think, somewhat of a facetious comment, but I think it's a fairly accurate one that I will address. He says, I predict we'll get 5 more NES and SNES games for Nintendo Switch Online.
Mm-hmm. I
do not think there'll be a new console added this year.
No, I was actually going to say the same thing. I don't think that's going to happen either.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Nintendo's going to keep putting it. By the way, Tucker, we're about to go a second month without an N64 game. By the way, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but no new console this year. I would now. Here's an interesting spinoff of that question, especially because we are hypothetically saying that they're not going to add Game Boy, Game Boy Color, or Game Boy Advanced, or fucking TurboTax. I don't know. Do you think that the GoldenEye coming to N64 Online, and we also have Banjo-Kazooie, do you think this might signal them putting more Rare games, like putting a focus on including Rare's N64 games in NSO? Because I think that would be a pretty substantial boost to the library of that service.
I think that Nintendo, if they wanted to, could probably broker a deal with Microsoft to get Donkey Kong 64 and Diddy Kong Racing on NSO. Perfect Dark, maybe not, because that's about to be really important to Microsoft again with great point. The quadruple A Perfect Dark game they're making currently. Yeah. But I think they could broker that.
Yeah.
I think it would be good PR for Microsoft if they let that happen.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. But I think that's pretty likely, especially if they're running out of first party and N64 games to add to that service, which is not fully true, but it's getting to be that point. And then the other part of that library that people care about is the Rare games. Yeah. And we've already got probably the 2 biggest ones on there or coming there.
I think Diddy Kong
2 was never announced, was it?
No.
No, I don't think it was, but I also think that's certainly possible.
Yeah, I think Diddy Kong Racing is the other big one. Is the other big one from them, really. from the N64. So I also want to I'm going to tag on the first part of Franz's, who writes, also Wild Woody for the expansion pack. It's do or die for Nintendo and Wild Woody related releases, really. Can you look?
What is Wild Woody?
I don't know. I don't know.
Wild Woody. It's a video game. Wild Woody. It's a pencil. It's a Sega CD pencil 2D platformer. Wild Woody is a pencil platforming character.
Of course,
looks like the game is 2 hours long. About. Okay.
Let's go into some of Franz's other predictions, because I think he's fucking funny. Well, let's do some of those serious predictions here. I gotta say, it seems like this is the year we gotta look at Detective Pikachu 2, the video game, if it hasn't been canceled.
Yeah.
I don't care much about Detective Pikachu, but the fact that it's been 5 years without seeing a screenshot perplexes me. Simple answer is that it's canceled.
It's canceled. Absolutely. 100%. I mean, when they announced that game, that it was like possibly in production, like half-heartedly, they announced that in 2019 or no, 2018.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, 5 years is a long time, but also there was a second movie in development at that point in time, which you have to remember, and that has also since been canceled.
I think I just do not understand what they were thinking with Detective Pikachu. I never played the game, so I got to put that out there.
I did buy it.
Did you play it?
Honest, right? No, I haven't yet. I was thinking about it, but I also I've not played a video game in almost a month, so.
I just don't think that Detective Pikachu was as good of an idea as everyone thought it was.
Yeah,
it's a good
kind of silly.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Franz. He also says, I'm going to lose my mind if Warriors Coliseum doesn't end up in 8 Deluxe, but I also wouldn't be surprised. I think Warriors Coliseum is probably going to end up in 8 Deluxe. But here's the one he bores in on that I was going to be a prediction of mine until I saw that he wrote it. Last prediction is more of a want, but it would make sense. Ring Fit 2 or anything really with the Ring Con. What do you think of this?
Yeah. I think that's certainly possible. I think that the fact that they put all that development time into a controller / peripheral that really is unique and does very well for that game means that it should be used for multiple games. I don't know if they can do another franchise that's not a Ring Fit 2 that is another exercise game, come up with some other Ring Fit tangential IP, but a Ring Fit sequel, I mean, I don't know what they could do with that. Different exercises, but have they not kind of like reached the limit of what kind of exercises that thing can do? I don't know. I think it's a good idea, but I have no idea what they would do with that. The hands up, everyone.
Here's what I think is going to happen, Tucker. You said something that was interesting to me earlier in this video. You said Nintendo is trying to distance themselves from Wii and DS.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But in other ways, it's weirdly not true.
Okay.
And Nintendo Switch Sports is a weird instance of this.
Sure. Yeah, guess so.
I think that because of the games that we play and the circles we run in, we sometimes overlook just how much casual software Nintendo's put out on the Switch. That is very much of that generation. Obviously, Labo's very much tied to Switch. Yeah. But Clubhouse games began as a DS IP.
That's a great point. Yeah.
We have Brain Age and Big Brain Academy on Switch.
Sure, never mind. Yeah.
We have this. We have Nintendo Switch Sports on Switch now. I think it is time to use that Ring Con to make a Wii Fit analog.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Because that's a great idea.
Wii Fit and Ring Fit are not the same in the sense that Ring Fit is like an actual workout.
Yes.
Unless you're like a 45-year-old white woman who didn't actually want to work out in the first place, Wii Fit was never actually like a fitness thing, really.
Sure.
It fucking flipped the coin and decided if your BMI was going to be good or not that day, and then you played like a game where you played as a penguin, like in a hula hoop. And that's what Wii Fit was. So I think that a fitness-minded, casual party experience with the sports mates.
Okay. Ooh, I like that idea. Yeah.
Is not an impossibility. I think it's either that or a Wii Party analog developed by ND Cube. But my overarching prediction is that we will get another Blue Ocean 7th generation spiritually 7th generation casual piece of software from Nintendo this year. That's my prediction.
Yeah. No, that I think that's a very likely option for them. I think that the idea of a new party game, an MDQ party game that also involves some sort of exercise thing, is very interesting. I wonder then if it would be a mode in that game that involves the ring con in some capacity. This is the fit party mode. In a small bubble in the main menu, like that you can go down to.
Sure.
That's got the little ring con logo on it. But I also, I think that a new party game this year is also a solid possibility because they do one of those close to every year.
Yeah. You want him? Do you have another prediction on your dedicated personal list?
Yeah, I had one that I like completely pulled out of my ass.
Okay.
We're gonna get an HD remake of Ever Oasis.
That's actually really interesting that you say that, because I don't think that is nearly as unlikely as you think it is.
No, I didn't say it was unlikely. I just said I pulled it out of my ass.
I see.
I was just like, what would be funny to say? And then I was like, well, no, they did do Metopia again. And this game obviously had a solid amount of effort put into it. It's like it's the big new thing of that late 3DS era. And it didn't get the shake that it probably deserved. I don't know. We never played it. But I heard that people like it. Maybe seems kind of unique.
And that game is developed by Grezzo, right?
That they solely developed Ever Oasis?
Double check that. I'm pretty sure that's Grezzo's original IP. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Ever Oasis.
Right?
Wikipedia. Grezzo. Yeah, developers Grezzo. Yeah.
They have done so much fucking assignment work for Nintendo now.
Mm-hmm.
Not only just like of course throughout the 3DS era, but because Grezzo did Link's Awakening, right? Can you double check that for me?
Yeah, of course. The remake, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. And they did Metopia's the RPG one. Mm-hmm. I think that it's a sort of 2 for you, 1 for me type of situation. Whether they do a remake of Ever Oasis or they're just a new Ever Oasis, I don't think they would I don't think they'd let their own IP die like that. I think we'll see it again.
Yeah. Okay, I'm very glad I pulled that up then.
Yeah, that's
interesting idea. It'd be interesting to add that to the Switch's ecosystem.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
I've got one more dedicated one, and then we got a couple more from the. Do we have any more from the community here?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Sam says Miyamoto will unveil a line of power mechs for the whole executive board, fitted with rail guns in both arms. The ability to lift 2,500 pounds and a max running speed of 35 miles per hour. Also
New Yoshi's Island or something.
Yeah, and we litigated the Yoshi issue. Okay, so that's everything the community had to say. My last prediction is about Metroid.
Where does Biden stand on the Yoshi issue?
Hopefully they're not on Yoshi or fucking break him or whatever.
I was gonna ask when you were talking about Wii Fit and Ring Fit Adventure analog. I'm like, where do you stand on the Ring Con?
I have mine right there. I'll stand on it.
Why did you bring your Ring Con with you?
Why do you not always have your Ring Con at arm's distance away?
No, I have my Ring Con because I got it while I was here. You have had the opportunity to return it home many times.
My Ring Con
actively do not use your Ring Con.
My Ring Con travels to and fro.
Ah, gotcha. You always bring it with you. Strap it on your back.
Yeah, I wear it like a purse strap.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Can we actually take a moment here for me to show you an interesting piece of Nintendo merchandise I have?
Okay.
It's somewhat related to what we've been talking about. And I found this when I was cleaning, and I'm not gonna have another opportunity to talk about it.
Sure. Unless we want to make a dedicated video for just this.
It's unlikely. This is a
reusable grocery bag.
This is a Wii Fit Plus tote bag.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
It smells like sunscreen.
Okay, I presume there's sunscreen in there. That seems like very much a thing that a mom would store a half-empty bottle of sunscreen and like 2 crusty towels in.
Right. Yeah. I think because I believe I used to take this bag with us when we go out on a boat or something.
Yeah.
Put my items in here.
It's not a tote bag. It's a boat bag.
Yeah. See, it's quite large. You could fit a lot of things in here if you wanted to.
Sure. Yeah.
But this is exclusive to Club Nintendo. So
that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hang on to this because it's a little bit of Club Nintendo history. Yeah. You're welcome for show and tell today.
Now I'm just gonna look on shopping, see how much this thing is actually worth. Oh, yeah, $15.
Yeah, and this one is literally mangled, so it's worth probably no bucks. Club.nintendo.com.
Boom. There you go. Living proof.
I have another cool piece of Nintendo merch, but I'm making a separate video about this.
You're making a video?
Yeah.
Is it for Backlog Banter?
Yeah.
Oh yes, let's go.
I don't want to talk.
Final prediction.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the thing is after. My final prediction is about Metroid.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, we've neglected the elephant in the room, which is Metroid Prime 4/trilogy.
Yeah, and that's what this prediction is about. It's kind of a boring way to end. Just fucking forget.
Yeah, that's fine.
And this is the one that I made really specific, so that
perfect.
It'd be more of a gambit. Metroid Prime 4 will be shown in the latter half of the year.
Okay.
And announced for a spring 2023 release.
Sure. And
it will not have a 4 in the title when it releases.
Oh, I see. I think that's very likely. I think that like removing the 4, removing the like baggage that comes with it being the 4th entry in a series makes a lot of sense.
What kind of cuts against it a little bit is not only Metroid Dread but Pikmin 4. The fact that both of those are Metroid 5 and Pikmin 4 was astonishing to me. So I think it's possible that it's Metroid Prime 4, but I think it's also important to remember that this game has been rebooted and restarted, and it's made so much shit that...
And also, I believe, and this might add a little credence to what you're saying, is that I believe when they reference Metroid Prime 4, as they did before they revealed Dread, that they refer to it as the next entry in the Metroid Prime franchise. Sure. I don't think it's been called Metroid Prime 4 outside of that logo reveal in 2017.
Yeah.
And probably like, a press release after that or something like that. But I do think they've been referring to it as the next entry in the Metroid Prime franchise.
The other thing that would be interesting is if the game is, I believe the game's called Metroid Prime 4 TB, like name not final on like their forecast when they release
really?
investors information.
Sure.
And of course that could just be because it's going to be Metroid Prime 4 something.
Yeah.
But
as 2 and 3 were.
Yeah. Echoes and then corruption. But I think that Metroid Dread was Metroid Dread not only because there's an interesting story there that could market the game, but also because Metroid Dread is not Metroid 5. Like,
no, of course not. Yeah, and there's never been numbers in the titles.
And but there's also like a story to continue from. Now this is obviously not based in anything, but I think that with Metroid Prime, you probably just want to start a new story. I never finished Metroid Prime 3, so I don't know how it ends, but I believe that it wraps up.
Is that not carried on in Other M?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I did buy Other M. Oh, actually, I bought it at the same time as I bought Detective Pikachu. That's a true story.
I also own Metroid Other M, and it's a good game.
You played it, yeah.
It's a good game. But I think that for a franchise like this, you want to sort of make that appeal as wide as possible. Metroid's coming back. You want to keep making that franchise bigger. You don't call it Metroid Prime 4. Yeah. So it's, for all intents and purposes, a reboot of Metroid Prime, just as its development was rebooted. Releases in spring 2024.
Yeah. In
the interim, we get Metroid Prime on Switch, but it is a remake of Metroid Prime 1.
Yeah.
And there's no Metroid Prime 2. There's no Metroid Prime 3. It's not a trilogy. It is Metroid Prime 1. Remade.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. Because I think
Prime Part 1.
I think people underestimate the amount of work that would have to go into the trilogy to make the trilogy playable on Switch. Just from a simple controls level. And mostly because of corruption. Because as we know from a lot of pointer games, the Joy-Con just simply is not accurate enough to do pointer stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think they probably also learned from Skyward Sword that doing that one-to-one is maybe not the best way to go. You're going to have to retrofit it with an alternate control scheme. Especially, obviously, for handheld mode, you need one. Basically, I just think that there's a lot more considerations to bring 3 Metroid Prime games to Switch and converting them than people think.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a remake of Metroid Prime 1. That's the most recent rumor also, by the way.
That is true, yes.
Metroid Prime, the 4th entry in Metroid Prime Saga in 2023, spring 2023. No 4 in the title. Metroid Prime 1 in 2023 remake.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that sounds just about as likely as you get. Now, do you think that Metroid Prime 4 hits that release date or is delayed again?
I think that
for extra doubloons.
If the game when Metroid Prime 4 is shown, it will not be delayed further.
Okay.
Because they 115% could have shown this game every year for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
It could just be a fucking cinematic. Like,
mm-hmm.
Put your cinematics team for 3 months on a trailer in 2018 if you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
I think the fact that we've seen nothing from it means that they are waiting until they know beyond a shadow of a fucking doubt when they talk about the game is ready.
Yeah. Now, do you think that Retro is doing the remake?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do? Okay. All right. Yeah, because that's the one thing is I don't think that Prime 4 is coming this year. Why? I don't know. Could. But people have been saying that there's got to also be another fucking Retro project that has been in the can or like in the works for a while, and whether that's Metroid related or not, that could be what we see this year from them as opposed to Metroid Prime 4. But if you think that they're doing the Prime 1 remake, then yeah, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's been rumors that they were bringing those games to Switch, and that was kind of what they were working on before they kind of helped oversee Tropical Freeze coming to Switch and things. But it's also worth remembering, and I think a lot of people forget about this, that even back in Retro's, pardon the pun, in their prime, they had a lot of games canceled on them. Not to say that they're bad. What?
Scalebound.
Not at all to suggest that Retro Studios is a bad developer, because I think they made 5 of some of the best games of all time that has ever published. But that they experiment a lot and they get a lot of stuff canceled on them. So I don't think it's impossible. They have been working, but they just keep getting shit canceled.
Yeah.
And then they got pulled onto Prime.
Mm-hmm. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But hey, regardless, I think that this first half of the year, which we haven't talked fully about, but first half, if you think that Pikmin 4 is coming early in the year, with Fire Emblem, which just released, which you and I have been playing to different varying degrees, with Kirby, with Bayonetta, with Zelda, I think this is already a very good start to the year.
Yeah.
But I am very excited to see what they do filling out the rest of the year, because last year filled out really nicely by the end of that year, with stuff we didn't even know about at the beginning of the year, which was awesome, which was really awesome. At the beginning of last year, we didn't know that we were getting Scarlet and Violet. We kind of thought that Xenoblade were like, I don't know. We didn't know that Three Hopes was even possible. Fucking crazy that they turned around last year incredibly well.
So we'll see. Last thing, Tucker.
Okay, one more.
Pull up a calendar if you need to. I'm going to pull up a calendar myself. Tell me the date of the first Nintendo Direct of the year to end the video.
Ooh, can you remind me which day of the week they usually do those on?
Thursday
things. Middle February, so the 16th.
Mid-Feb, mid.
Yeah.
Hit you with that mid-Feb date.
Yeah.
I'll hit you with this. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Kirby comes out on the 24th.
Yeah.
I'm going to say get a direct on the 16th of February.
That's what I said. So you can't do that.
I wasn't listening. I was trying to find a calendar.
That's just a different day. Sorry.
Okay. If I had to choose a different day, I would say the 23rd. Eve of Kirby's release.
Oh, okay. Oh, like one day before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess that's certainly possible. Yeah.
No, go fuck yourself. I'm saying the 9th. I'm locking it in. Crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross applesauce are 9th and 16th. But hey, that's still not very long away. And I haven't been anticipating a Nintendo Direct. Blah, blah, I need it. Because we know that there are games coming out that are filling out this first part of the year very solidly. But hey, a Nintendo Direct soon could be really, really cool. I'm very excited for that. A full fucking Tears of the Kingdom trailer. Oh, fuck. Oh, a fucking gameplay upload of Pikmin 4. Oh, God. Even if there's not, and of course there will be, a new major announcement, those two things, that's worth the price of fucking admission alone. God damn.
One of those is exciting. You want a gameplay demo of Tears of the Kingdom? Put fucking Breath of the Wild on your TV. Kissing your nanner. Like how I wish I was doing this video with the saucy Tucker Hazel.
Yeah.
This is just a regular Tucker Hazel.
I can put on my best saucy impression.
No, the saucy Tucker Hazel actually has like he's got like a salivatory gland issue, so the sauce is always coming out of his mouth.
I see. Does his salivatory glands make like marinara, or do they make saliva?
It's more that the marinara is sort of in place of.
Yeah, well, yeah. So then they make marinara.
Yeah, but it's
Who isn't Salvatore a fucking character in The Godfather?
I would imagine so.
Saul Goodman? Oh yeah, that's Abe Vigoda's character, Salvatore Tessio.
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember anybody's name. The Godfather. Oh, I remember Don Ciccio. I think he's got a funny name.
What about Don Corleone?
What about Don Godfather?